Hi, everybody. How's the lighting here? Good, bad, terrible? Ah, that's better. Wait, turn that off. Let's see. That's with no light in here at all. Well, let's try that. That's fine. Hi, everybody. So, I have an old friend. So I'm just going to read this. I wrote this. I packed up and left the U.S. But it took me a long time, and it was a real decision that I made when in 2010, I walked the first half of the Camino de Santiago, and when I was transformed by that experience. They say when you walk the Camino that you will go through subtle transitions that you won't recognize at first, but then all of a sudden they will hit you like a ton of bricks, and that happened to me in spades. I walked for 16. I got sick. I didn't finish it. I got sick and flew home. I got a sinus infection, like I'm prone to do. I walked for 16 days, flew home, got back to my house in Boise, and I walked in. And excuse the language, but when I walked in, the first thing that popped into my head was, whose shit is all of this? And just looking at everything in my house, everything in my apartment. All the bookcases and stereo equipment and computers and kitchen stuff and tools and furniture and everything. And it's like, whose shit is all of this? And that happened after spending 3 weeks on the trail, 16 days, not quite 3 weeks. 16 days on the trail with just a small backpack and very minimal, beautiful lifestyle, walking and having dinner with friends and walking and sleeping. And I mean, I had very little stuff with me, and it completely transformed my life. And I actually went back and finished it in 2018. But it transformed me. So I all the stuff that I was looking at now in my house, which had been cherished stuff, my books, my cookbooks, my kitchen stuff, my shop, my computer lab, my bookcases, my furniture, most of the furniture I had built, all this stuff, artwork that I had made, big paintings, all of this now became an impediment to my freedom. It switched in my head from my cherished belongings to now it's a complete impediment to my freedom. And it took me another 8 years to weed out my crap, to thin out my crap, to sell everything, all my big machine tools. I had a full shop, and so I ended up selling all that stuff, selling all kinds of stuff, selling my golf clubs, selling everything, and skis. I had 5 pairs of skis. Nobody wants old skis. That's weird. No, I had these beautiful skis that nobody wanted because they weren't like within a year old, but they were fabulous. I ended up giving them all away. Anyway, so let me read through this, and this is about the process a little bit, and it might sound kind of lame while I'm reading it, but just bear with me. And this is from my friend. So I sat down over the past few days and wrote this out, and it starts with, "Hi everybody. I have an old friend, my age actually, a friend from high school, who is trying to retire and wants to, but is just overwhelmed by the task at hand to thin and weed and get rid of everything. As we approach our retirement, the real decision is that we actually and overtly make the hard decision to go." And his situation is changing, so he has to go. He has to weed and thin and get rid of all of his stuff and move. and like within 45 days. I mean, his situation is, but it's not a money thing. He's got tons of money. I mean, shit, tons of money. So it's not a money thing. It's just freaking out about the situation kind of a thing. As I said, my friend is overwhelmed by the task in front of him. To my friend, if you are watching this, first of all, let's organize our thoughts. Breathe in, breathe out, keep doing that. There are real steps to this process. Let's see, where's my mouse? There it is. My friend has a house to take apart, or at least extract his stuff out of a lifelong household. Let's also frame this as if you are taking down a storage unit. That was my experience, my case. It was a big storage unit, and it was full up to 7 feet high. Full. I mean, you couldn't walk into it. It was packed. My storage unit was. My situation was, I was in Boise until 2015, and I moved to Boulder to work on a house. I have a friend that invited me over. She said, throw all your tools in your car and come, and you can and work on my house, and you can stay here for free. And so I did, and I went over and did a bunch of carpentry, and then I ended up in Spokane for a while with another friend who had a tragedy, and I went up there to hold his hand, basically. He was an old Army buddy. He is an old Army buddy. He's now in Vegas. But he had a horrible tragedy, and I just went up there to hang out with him for a while. And then I ended up back in Boise, and all my stuff was in storage in Boise. So that's why. It's because I left Boise. So let's see. It was a big storage unit, and it was full up to 7 feet high. The priority is to take care of our paperwork. Find all of your paperwork. It's buried among the furniture in your storage unit. It's in that filing cabinet under your desk, wherever it is. This is what we need to focus on first. Buy a decent shredder. In my case, in my storage unit, I couldn't get to my paperwork until I weeded out the furniture. Give it away. Call Salvation Army or whoever. Tell them to bring a truck, a big truck. Hopefully you sold Granny's Hutch from 1865 Sioux City, or you will soon. Set that aside. Give your furniture away. We are trying to do here, what we are trying to do here is open up spaces so we can get to our paperwork. So we can find those boxes where we stuffed our car title, our old bank docs, our insurance policies, our lease agreements, etc. These are the things we need to find so we can read through, thumb through, determine if it can be shredded or not. Almost everything will get shredded, but right now we are only gathering this stuff, pulling it out of the storage unit, or in my friend's case, dragging these boxes out of the attic or storeroom in the basement. We are focusing on weeding paperwork and getting a clear vision of what we can shred, and likely it's going to be all of it. You're going to be able to shred all of it, get rid of everything, but you need to go through it. You need to, every sheet of it, you need to go through. You'll find more paperwork. You need to deal with the paperwork. You need to read and assess each page. Keep important stuff such as titles and passports, visas, etc. Stocks, bonds, etc. What are you waiting for? Sell that car. Sell that motorbike. If you're going to stay on the North American continent, like you're going to go travel into Mexico or something, keep your car if you need to, whatever. I was heading to Europe and then to Southeast Asia, so I sold my car. What are you waiting for? Sell that car. Sell that motorbike. The remaining paperwork will probably be 100% disposable. You can tear off your name and account number on most bank paperwork and just shred that. Sheets of numbers are meaningless without a name or account number attached to it. So, if you have like lots of bank documents, you can look and see where your name and account number are, and you can just like trim those off, throw this sheet away. You don't need to shred it. Just shred your name and account number. I did lots of that. Okay, so you've worked through the paperwork and furniture. Good. Now comes the toys. Uh, Now you have the skis, golf clubs, bicycles, power tools, table saw, welder, drill press, thickness planer, toolboxes for every different job, bookcases, computers, kitchen stuff, guns, ammo. Yes, everything is going. And this means everything. Everything. Actually, this was the hardest. I love to cook. I have such a potent kitchen. Every payday, I bought something for my kitchen. Every time I traveled, I bought something for my kitchen. Have you seen Kitchen Street in Tokyo? Tokyo was worth the trip just for Kitchen Street. I bought a fishbone puller from there. Come to think of it, I've never used it. I never used it. But my kitchen was complete. Anyway, when it came time to go, all of this had to go. I winced once and helped them load it on the truck and pushed on. And Kitchen Street in Tokyo is really fun. There's a kind of a head to the street, and there's a giant chef statue up on one of the buildings, big plastic giant chef, and it's about 5 or 6 blocks long on both sides of the street, and it's nothing but kitchen stores, and man, it is cool. It is so cool. That's where you get these beautiful knives. They're not cheap, but these beautiful Japanese knives, and it's cool, really cool. I love that. I spent a whole day there wandering through all these stores with my kids. Let's see here. Okay, clothing. So you're going to get rid of most of your clothes too. I mean, you're going to get rid of everything, right? You're going to get rid of everything. Everything. When I first departed in May of 2018, my first stop was in Spain to finish my Camino to Santiago, and then I was heading off to Southeast Asia. My clothing requirements are very minimal, i.e. flip-flops, cargo shorts, underwear, sometimes. Swimming trunks, hat, white poly, long-sleeved, oversized button-down business shirts. But that's what I like to wear in Southeast Asia. Really light colors, poly blends so they don't absorb. Like cotton in Vietnam, cotton turns into a wet rag in 2 seconds. And so I like poly blends. They don't absorb, so you stay dry. And I like long sleeves because it protects you from the sun. And you just get beaten to shit by the sun, so you have to be careful. Let's see, white poly long sleeve, oversized button-down business shirts. Best thing on a moto to keep cool and protect you from the sun. And you can pick up the super rain gear for torrential downpours when you get there, if you're heading into Southeast Asia. I had hiking boots with me. I had a backpack with me, which I've since gotten rid of. I might get another one. I might go do another Camino. That's a real possibility. But my backpack was really old and starting to fall apart, so I gave it to my daughter. And I will rethink if I'm going to do another Camino, I'm going to really rethink the way I did it. Like, I think I'm going to go with way less stuff. Even less than I did before. I mean, I was like 9 kilos, 8 kilos, including water. It was light. My pack was light. Anyway, okay, so let's keep going. So the other thing I had to get rid of were media, photos, slideshows from, way back to when I was in the Army. I had slideshows. I had photos from the Army, from the late 70s. So over the years, on all of my adventures, I took lots of photos and shot lots of slides. I had to digitize a cubic meter of slides and photos. And yes, I had the equivalent of a cubic meter of, I had a couple of big boxes that were just packed full of photos. And then I had more boxes that were packed full of slide trays that were full, and 3-ring binders that were full of slides. Those little, whatever, 5 wide and 6 deep plastic 3-ring binders, things that you put all the slides in. I had notebooks, big fat 3-ring binders of those things. And so I also had a slide projector. I had a Kodak Carousel slide projector still. And so what I did was let's see, I was at Pam's house when I did this, taking this stuff apart. I had an iPhone 7 Plus with the beautiful camera on it, and I just showed I had a slideshow. I showed all my slides. I loaded trays and showed them all on the wall, and photographed them with my iPhone. So I ended up with, and all the photos that I had, I just put them on the desk and photographed. They were, horizontal, flat, and I just photographed them. And I photographed all my photos and all my slides on my iPhone, and then I moved those JPEGs. They're probably all JPEGs, right? Yeah, all JPEGs. I moved all those onto an external hard drive, and I still have it. It's right over there. So, and then I ended up trying to sell my slide projector, and nobody wanted it. I mean, it was obsolete, absolutely obsolete. This was in 18, spring of 18, completely obsolete. Nobody, I mean, even the people that I knew in the old days that were always neck deep in slides and slide projectors, like the outdoor program at Idaho, none of, Beiser didn't want this. Nobody wanted it. And I ended up throwing it away. It had a value of 0. I put it on Craigslist. Nobody wanted it. I got 0 hits on it. Had a value of 0. I just threw it in the dumpster. It was kind of sad. And all the binders, everything, all the photos, all my photos went in the dumpster. I was just getting rid of everything. And I wasn't going to, keep them and stick them in storage. No. You're getting rid of everything. You're getting rid of everything, right? Let's see here. Where am I? Oh, yeah. So it's also amazing how much a cubic meter of photos take up on a 128 gigabyte iPhone. It's almost nothing. Just incredible. Photos do not have a big footprint. Video does, but photos do not. So I should get another hard drive. And I do keep a single copy of all my videos that I make on an external hard drive. Okay, so let's see. Back to the storage unit. Back to my storage unit. So when I was finished with this, I had 2 visits from Salvation Army. The first was for furniture, which opened up space in my storage unit, so I could then weed through everything and get organized, sell a bunch of stuff, give stuff away, and then I called them back a second time to come and get everything else. I swept out my storage unit and got my deposit back. I left Boise in May of 2018 with one hard-backed and wheeled duffel bag. I have a big, beautiful... I bought that in Spain on my way home in 2010. And that was an expensive piece of luggage, but it's got a hard back with a handle and wheels, and it's soft on top with big duffel bag handles, and it's huge. You can put a ton of stuff in it. So I can fit a backpack and hiking boots and all my stuff in it. But we're limited to 23 kilograms, right? When I left Boise in May of 2018 with one hard-backed and wheeled duffel bag weighing 23 kilograms and one backpack weighing 7 kilograms, I was heading for Spain and then Southeast Asia. And yes, I have bought clothes and kitchen stuff, but it's only a minimal amount. And last summer I had to pack, weed, and give away lots of stuff in Vietnam when Vietnam kicked us all out. I don't know if you've heard about that story, but I had an active visa in Vietnam when COVID struck and I shut the borders down. So when my visa finally expired, they were giving me extensions, month-to-month extensions during COVID. And they did that for a full year, and then they just said no more. And they did that to everybody that was there, that was living there on tourist visas, extended tourist visas. So they kicked us all out, basically. Everybody left. So I ended up in D.C. Anyway, so back to this. And yes, I have bought clothes and kitchen stuff, but it's only a minimal amount. And last summer I had to pack weed and give away lots of stuff when Vietnam kicked us all out. Now here in Georgia, I had to buy some winter clothes, used mostly, and I will again adjust my stuff depending on where I go to next. I am not attached to stuff anymore. I am attached to experiences. And I look forward to many, many more. Peace out, everybody. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I have one thing that I have to do, and before September 23rd, I have to leave Georgia and come back in order to, it's like a border run, annual border run here, to renew the stamp in my visa, in my passport. But that's the only thing I have to do. Everything else is just, I'm kind of looking at the world, where to next, stay here, I don't know, go back to Southeast Asia, go to Cambodia, go to Thailand, go to Vietnam, go to the Philippines, I have no idea, go to Bali. I've been thinking about Australia also, but only a little bit. I haven't really looked at that. I don't think Australia is cheap, but it might be fun to go build a house out in the desert. Yeah, whatever. That's crazy. Okay, so subscribe. Okay, like my videos. Subscribe. Tell your friends about my channel, please. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. One video a week, forever and ever and ever. Okay, love you guys. Love everybody. See ya. Bye bye.